Hello world, happy afternoon, happy almost evening if you're on the East Coast like me. Welcome. Just a few minutes early, just wanted to open up this space so that you can get yourself grounded with either a yoga mat, meditation cushion, block, or just a chair. My name's Lara G and I'll be your guide this afternoon. So I'm so excited that you're here. We'll get started in a few minutes. Thank you for being here. And if you wouldn't mind just sharing in the chat function the favorite part of your day. If you could share that in there so I can connect with you and know that people are there and I'm not talking to like a one-way screen because that just gets weird. So if you wouldn't mind sharing in the chat function the best part of your day, or maybe you're anticipating something later in the day that you're really excited for, and where you're coming from. My name is Lara. Best part of my day is being here, but also getting a little time outside. Sat on my beautiful patio in Brooklyn, so that was really fun to just be there, to be outside, to be grounded. We'll get started in another minute so we can let a few more people roll in. Michelle, sitting on dock in Boston Harbor. Yes, Brittany, playing with my dog, all those things. I have a cat hanging out in this room with me, so he could behave or he could not behave. Cats never like to be in one place for too long, so we'll see how that goes. Really excited to navigate that, but he wanted to be a part of this, so he's just hanging out to my side. Talia, nighttime when you feel most awake, productive, and relax. All right, well, I'm glad that you're here to get some meditation to help you get even more relaxed. So excited for that. We'll give it another minute. Anjali, virtually treating a client this afternoon, best part of your day. I love that. I love how we're getting creative in the times right now of allowing ourselves to reach out virtually to everybody. So I think that's so special. All right, friends, we're gonna get started, but we've got some time to talk and digest. First of all, I want to thank you for being here. My name is Lara G. I am one of our area leaders for New York City, so I'm coming to you from Brooklyn, New York. It's a beautiful blue sunny sky spring day. I just love springs here. That's another favorite part of my day, when it gets spring and it's 65, blue sky. It's just so beautiful. So maybe one of these Thursdays we'll go outside and meditate together. That could be fun. So my name's Lara. Welcome to the first of many to come of Meditation Made Easy. Easy is such a funny word, isn't it? More easeful. Meditation more easeful is how I really see this. Whether or not you have a meditation practice, you have one that you've done for years, you might learn something. Or if you have no background at all, you might learn something even more. So love that. Talia, we'll talk about some meditation tips in a little bit. So hold on to that nugget and we'll get that in a little bit. Thank you for asking. And team, this whole series that we're doing is going to build up on the top of each other. So if you are a person who just doesn't understand the idea of meditation, or you've tried and your monkey mind just like keeps crawling in the crevices, this is for you. I was I don't know how you can be skeptical of meditation, but I was. But it turns out I just didn't like to sit still. So we'll go over some tips and tricks that will help hopefully make it a little more easeful in that experience and help you really just sit with yourself, which I think is the hardest thing for us busybodies and type A people. If you're like, I can sit and meditate for hours, namaste. I would love a piece of that. So yeah, well, we'll begin here, and the techniques we'll explore these next few weeks are more of mindfulness meditation. There's so many different ways to meditate, so many different schools, and one of the newer ways in which we're experiencing meditation is through mindfulness. The mindfulness is mental training, an awareness to really calm the monkey mind, and it teaches us how to become an observer and slow down. A lot of the times I think we see meditation as a space where we have to sit completely still, completely perfect, like the Buddha, and have no thoughts going on in our brains. That's impossible. We're humans. We're designed to have thoughts to help us survive, to help us move forward. So impossible. Just want to get that, scratch that off the surface real quick. So in mindfulness meditations, we learn how to become more of the observer. So the next few weeks we'll observe just different parts of our body, different parts of our breath, our skin, where we're sitting, so that we can become the observer and you begin to separate this worldview so that you're there and your observations are here, and you're really allowed to take a step back from the thoughts, stories, and emotions that can build up in our body. So as I mentioned, we'll explore so many styles the next few weeks. And really, we're just here to start training our body and our mind, because much like we would flex any muscle like we do in Yoga Sculpt or in C2, we must flex our brain muscles for stillness and our bodies for stillness. It takes practice. Just like our high planks to low planks, just like mountain pose, handstand, it all takes practice. So thank you for being here. This is just that first step into being still just a little more and understanding the benefits of it. As I mentioned, I didn't really like it at first. And that's real. You know, I loved taking and partying to Yoga Sculpt or just sweating out in a C2. And the more I got through life and my practice, the more I urged to be still, the longer I desired to be in Shavasana, or more I appreciated the space between. And that's what meditation is. And we just want to share some fun facts with you. Why meditate? You know, anytime there's a buzz or a trend, it's like, well, I got to do it. But let's go over why, because I think that's really important as well. First of all, it reduces stress. Inflammation in our body is what causes disease. So when we reduce stress through meditation, we reduce the inflammation response in our body. So immediately it's a gateway towards a body that works more optimally for us and for the world. I don't know, but that's cool. Had to start there. It settles anxiety. It helps, control's like a bit aggressive, but it helps really get our hands around our anxiety by focusing on what we can control, which is our breath and our gaze. And when we're able to do that, we're able to move into rest and digest and really activate our parasympathetic nervous system that helps us calm down and regulate. It also helps enhance self-awareness. I don't know about you, but I could use more of that. It helps us improve our self-awareness by paying attention to the thoughts that we observe in ourselves, that we observe, that we inflict on others, and really just helps us live more intentional lives through this. It also helps lengthen our attention span. That has been my most favorite success of meditation. We are fixed to our smartphone, iPad, computer, TV. We've got all these devices around us all the time that our brains are being overstimulated and overfiring. So when we allow ourselves to sit in stillness, even just for 2 minutes a day, we're really allowing our mind to repattern, to slow down so we can focus on one thing at a time. It also helps generate kindness through increased compassion, through noticing, through being aware of what's going on in your mind, your body, and your surroundings. It improves sleep. That's been another one of my favorite ones. I don't know if you're like me, but I plan like my day when I lay in bed, because what else am I gonna do? So really sitting to meditate allows you to relax tension. Some meditations help you to remove stories that you've put in your brain. Some meditations like help you visualize putting your thoughts in like a container and putting it away. It also helps decrease blood pressure, and I don't know about you, but I think that's really important as well, so that we can relax our fight or flight response and become more easeful. Love that. So team, I would love to know why you are here. And maybe you've got a piece of paper or journal next to you and want to write down a few things. Would love for you to take just some time to create an intention. Why are you here today? Or why do you meditate in general? If you already have a practice, like what brought you here? So take a few seconds, just jot down whatever comes into your mind. If you want to share it in the chat function, again, as I mentioned, this is like a one-way mirror for me right now. I think there's people out there, but I'm not sure. So if you wouldn't mind sharing why you're here in this little YouTube experience, why you're here with us or why you meditate. So begin to write those down. Give it another 30 seconds. And again, if you want to share in the chat function, please do. For me, why I sit, why I choose to meditate, sometimes I don't choose, and then that's a problem, is to be still with myself so that I can listen to truths versus untruths. Untruths are the stories that go on in our brain after the day. So this really allows me to sit in what's true and what's not true. And to obviously release anxiety, get sleep. Michelle, you're not alone. And we'll go over some tips in a little bit, so don't you worry. So if you'd like to share why you're here, and what does success look like? Just begin to take a minute to jot that down. For you leaving today or the next few weeks after these Thursday sessions together, what does success look like for you? Talia, improving your mood and energy levels, especially during lockdown. It's like we can make all these excuses for the time that we don't have in a time that we really do have a lot of time. So I feel you. Thank you for sharing. For me, success looks like just being able to teach you something new and being able to teach myself something new. So if you want to share what success looks like for you in the chat function, please do that. There's so many ways to meditate. As I mentioned, we'll explore that the next few weeks. I'm going to try and condense it so we can actually experience it. How does that sound? There is no perfect way. As I mentioned, I thought before it's like I had to find the perfect seat, close my eyes, and no noises. You can do this in the morning. You can do this midday. You can do this in the evening. Truly, where you are being called and when you're being called to do it, do it. I prefer now that I've got a practice, I do it in the morning and I do it in the evening, so I sandwich my day. But there's some afternoons where I just need to sit down, So it's really up to you. It's if you want more energy, I would recommend doing it in the morning. If you want help sleeping or with anxiety, try it in the evening or stagger it and see how it goes. Seating wise, if you do choose to sit, please sit with your hips over your knees. So that can look like crisscross applesauce, but propped up on a block or a meditation cushion. That way your knees can soften down. I choose the hero's pose variation, so sitting on my heels, but I have a block under my butt because for me, that much external rotation in the hips just doesn't feel good, and this feels a lot better, and I'm sitting up tall. You can lay down. You can meditate while walking. It's just an open eye meditation. You can chant. We'll go over that the next few weeks. Different meditations that chant, that use mantras, that use words repeated over and over again to tether the mind. Some meditations focus on an image, which are really fun if you're a visual person. There's also hypnosis as a form of meditation as well. So there's so many different forms and so many different ways to do it. You can also do it sitting in a chair. I didn't know that one. I wish I would have known. The goal is that you've got something just connected to the earth. So if you're sitting in a chair or want to move to a chair now, please do, but just have your feet on the ground. So today we'll start our simple mindfulness meditation just by noticing our breath. So team, we'll pick a mantra for our practice today, a word, and use whatever your intention was for coming here today. And boil it down to one word, but a more positive word. So rather than you came to release anxiety, so all you think of is anxiety, what's the opposite of that? Peace or stillness. So stillness. Or because I'm so busy. Life is busy. Rather than repeating busy, what's the opposite of busy? So take a moment, find a word that you can tether yourself and practice today to help remind you why you're here, and just write it down. And from there, we'll begin. So team, if you want to take a seat, take a seat. If you want to lay down, lay down. If you want to sit on a chair, do that too. And before you close your eyes, just begin to notice what's around you. If you have a view of the outside, it's so great to connect to the sky or what you see. What else do you see in your surroundings? Without attachment or emotion, just look. Truly observe. And once you've taken in the sights, soften your eyes closed or fully closed. Just begin to notice your breath as it rises and falls. First, just become aware. Notice where your body connects to the floor, where your clothes connect to your body. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. Just notice your breath nice and smooth. 2 more times. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, let go. 1 more inhale. Exhale, release. Now seal your lips. Gather your breath in and out through your nose. So almost like our yoga breath or ujjayi breath, but without the slight hug at the throat. And when we breathe through our nose, we create a filtration system that allows for just more pure oxygen to reach your lungs. And as your breath becomes slow, in and out of your nostrils, bring your focus to your nostrils. Feel the width, the pace of your breath, in and out of them. Maybe you can feel the innermost edges of your nostrils before you go into your nasal cavity. Notice how they get wider as you inhale, and as they narrow just slightly as you exhale. Keep your attention on your nostrils, especially if your brain gets into the equation, which it will. Bring your attention back to the sensation in which you feel at your nostrils. Notice when you're breathing in, it's cooler than when you're breathing out. Push your sits bones, your butt bones into wherever you're sitting, your block, your chair, the ground. Notice how this draws your tailbone slightly back and puts it into its natural curvature. As you've done that, naturally your chest begins to lift. You're not lifting it, your spine is lifting it into its natural thoracic curve. And notice how this almost creates an elevation of flotation sensation of your chest as your back becomes light and easy. Now draw the back of your skull backwards just a little bit to feel it help with the elevation of your entire spine. Keep that spinal lift. And let it be a regal and confident sit, but not one that is forced. your attention back to your nostrils whenever it's needed. Notice the temperature, the vastness, and the space that your nostrils create. Begin to shift your attention to your stomach now. Maybe it helps to place your palms on your belly. Again, feel the breath rise and fall in your abdominals. Let your belly get soft. This helps move your body into rest and digest and really activates the vagus nerve. Soften. And if your mind begins to wander, bring it back to the space right under your navel. If you started to round over like I have, push your sit-bones down, take your tailbone back, and that will naturally lift your chest. Now begin to shift your attention to your entire body. Feel the sensations without attachment to needing to label them, define them. Just let them exist. And as you breathe in, it's as if your entire body, your skins, your organs are breathing in. And as you breathe out, it's as if your entire body is breathing out with you. Bring your focus to your body as an entire unit of organic matter. And rather than just focusing on one body part, allow your focus to be more inclusive to the entirety of your body. We're just here for a few more breaths. And if you have to move your legs, it's okay, move them. Just try and make it not as least disruptive as possible, and then get back to it. And then notice how this can become more easeful, because rather than telling yourself not to focus on a thought, not to do something, you tell yourself what to focus on. If you lose track, just come back. That's not a big deal. Bring your attention back to the sensation of your body as a whole. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Another one like that as you bring awareness back to your body. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly open your eyes. Before moving too much, just look around you again. Bring awareness to your surroundings. And take your left hand to your heart, the right hand on top of that. Bow your chin slightly and gather an inhale. And tell yourself thank you on the exhale. Release your hands down. Thank you, everybody. I could feel that. Before we come back to chat, would love for you just to write down if there was one in particular you preferred, whether it be the nostril, your belly, the body. And just some observations, what you enjoyed, what felt weird. And really, the whole goal of this is just to start where you can. You know, a lot of people are like, am I doing this right? There really is no right. That's the best part. Really, all that meditation and mindfulness asks of us is that we find focus and that we go within. So start small. You know, success in this really looks like meeting yourself where you're at. Thanks for sharing. The body helps you ground. Yes, same. Meet yourself where you're at. Get cozy. There's no perfect meditation space. There's no perfect time. People would argue with you, you know, and that's okay. They can have their opinions. But it's perfect in what works for us. Tailor breath in the body. Yes. Love that too. So maybe you just start with 2 minutes a day on your own. You know, that's a big step. That was a big step for me, of 2 minutes of stillness, of silence. And it doesn't even have to be silence. There's so many great meditation apps these days. One of my favorite is Insight Timer. And we have a few on Yoga on Demand as well. Or just even on Spotify, there's so many playlists that you can just listen to nature sounds, whatever helps calm and ground you to breathe and be within. Do it in a space that you feel safe, that you can close your eyes. Do it in a space that you can feel cozy. If it's at night and you just want to lay down and meditate, do it. If you fall asleep, you probably needed it. And meet yourself. If it needs to be a chair, there's some days where my hips just cannot do sitting on the floor, and that's real. You determine your success in this. And be kind. Meditation is not about talking really bad things. It's about compassion and meeting ourselves where we need to be. So thank you for meeting yourself where you're at. If you want to share in the chat function which meditation you preferred, Talia ended up laying down. Yeah, my chest feels tight a lot of the times too. Sometimes you just have to lay down. That feels good. And it's all about meeting yourself where you're at. I think that's the theme of today, is meeting yourself where you're at to equal success, you know? And the next few weeks we're going to explore. We're going to keep building onto this. We'll do a few more weeks of different mindfulness meditations, and then we'll move on to mantra meditation, to chanting meditation, to visualization. There's so many ways that we can get out of here and go in here. Thank you for being here. You can find us on Yoga on Demand. There's so many beautiful 6-minute meditations on there that are Heather and Joel lead, that are really some of my favorites when I need a midday check-in and tune-up. We just launched CorePower Yoga Live. So live.corepoweryoga.com, you can interact with your community. So less one-way mirror, more community facing. And I'll be here every day on YouTube at Thursday. What time is it Mountain Time? 3 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern, to sit with you. I'm around for some questions. So if you have anything that I didn't get to answer in the chat function and you want to chat, please do. If you gotta go, please do. But thank you. Thank you for being here. This is so special the more we can connect with each other virtually and learn new things. So I'll hang out for a few more minutes if there's any questions. Thank you, Michelle. I'll see you next week, hopefully. And my cat decided to actually sleep the whole time, so that's a miracle. He must have been meditating as well. All right. Talia, these will be at 5 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. I can't remember if you're like 6 or 7 hours. You said 11, so 6 hours. So whatever time we started, that's when, on Thursdays. We do have other wide array of CorePower lifestyle classes, same time during the week. So those are really fun. Heather does some amazing energy healing classes, some breath technique. So if you're really desiring ways to help move you through ease in this challenging time, this is how we do it, friends. It doesn't look like there's really any other questions. So I'm going to sign off and say thank you again. And I hope to see you next week. If you want to find me on Instagram, I'm at Lara, Lara, Gobins, Gobins. I hope to see you there, and I hope to see you next week. Thank you so much, friends. Have such a great day.